I have also confusion that like which schema am I gonna work, or what kind of schemas we have to first like make the mappings later, then we have to test them, then later then we have to upload them. So we're gonna have, I think, different schemas. Then I think we have to see at least a general mapping.
I mean, depending on the company, like you're gonna have a different things. Like I believe, like whatever interview we're going, like we can build something like from the head.
Hello.
Hi, Abdul.
So today we will discuss about Autosys. Autosys is a scheduling tool. So let me show you how it works. Unfortunately, we cannot practice. We cannot practice, but I'll try to show you how it looks and how it works. You just need to know basics. Like you already know how to schedule workflows in Powercenter, right? You already know how to schedule workflows in Powercenter. So let me show you how Autosys works. I'm going to share my screen.
Abdul,
Yeah.
before you move forward, can you show me how a documentation looks like at work for you when you do workflows?
I already did that.
Okay, I can watch the recording. Yeah.
Do you guys remember I showed the data mapping document?
Are you talking about the one where you get a document and they give you a detail, you need to do this, this, this? Is
Yeah,
that the document?
That's it.
Oh, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about like when you run into issues, do you have to create documentations on that, or?
Yeah,
Are you talking about tickets?
Yeah, I'm going to cover that on the last day.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you what to do when a job fails and how do you document it, and because if you leave the company and tomorrow somebody else comes and encounters the same issue, he or she should not be doing everything from scratch, right? So every time a job fails, you will have to document it. Like for example, anytime a workflow fails, the reason could be many reasons, right? The first reason could be the source system is not present, the source file is not present. So if you receive a failure which says source file is not present, in your document, you should mention, if the file is not present, please reach out to this team or call this person and check with them why the file is not present, or send an email to this group asking why the file is not present. Okay. If you receive duplicates, then it will say, please reach out to this person and check with them why there are duplicates. If you're receiving null, please reach out to this person and check why there are please reach out to this team and see why the data is bad. If Powercenter goes down, you will have to reach out to Informatica admin. If database goes down, then you will have to reach out to DBA. It's called runbook. So it's called a runbook. So you'll have to create a document for every possible failure. And if you're not covering that, next time a job fails, you will have to just add it to the list of failures. So next time so when you leave the company or you move on to another project and somebody else is working on this project, he or she should know. Usually when the developer is moving code to production, they should provide the runbook to the production support team, because production support team are only responsible for monitoring the existing workflows. They did not build the workflow. They did not build the mapping. They don't know anything in the mapping, right? So you should provide them a document. So before the code goes into production, you have to, when everything is ready to go into production, you have to have a session with production support team saying that I'm moving this code to production. You will have to monitor this from tomorrow. If the job fails because of this reason, you have to do this. If the job fails because of this reason, you have to reach out to this person. Okay. So tomorrow, if the job fails, in production support team will open the document and check like, okay. So the first 1 month or 2 months, if the job fails, developer will be the primary on-call support. Production support team will be the secondary on-call support. When a job fails, the developer will first log in and try to fix it, and production support team will also join the call and just stay silent on the call and see what the developer is doing. After 2 months, production support team will become primary, and then developer will become secondary. So that 2 months is called a warranty period, because, like, for example, Samsung, they sell a phone, they give you a warranty of 1 year, right? So if it fails, they will, if the phone malfunctions, they'll fix it. Just like that, a developer has to provide a warranty period for every piece of code they move to production. You cannot just develop a code and push to production and say, that's it, I'm moving on to the next project. No, you move on to the next project, but you will be the primary on-call support. That means anytime your job fails, you will be called first. And then the second call will go out to production support team. Every company has their own warranty period. Some companies have 30 days, some companies have 45, some companies have 60. After 60 days, developer will move on to a new project, and production support team will will be the primary. If for some reason, if production support team is not able to fix the issue, they will reach out to developer. So there is that L1, L2, L3 model. L1 is going to be your operator. L2 is going to be developer. L2 is going to be production support. L3 is going to be developer. So you have that L1, L2, L3 model, or T1, T2, T3. Tier 1 is going to be the operator. If a job fails, operator will create a ticket and assign it to production support team. Production support team is T2 or L2. They will try to fix that. And L2 or T2 team can only fix the code, can only troubleshoot to a certain extent, because they were not involved in development. For some reason, if they are not able to fix it, they will reach out to the actual developer who developed that mapping. That should actually not happen a lot, because anytime you page out to the developer after the warranty period, the developer will charge those extra hours, saying that I was paged out after the warranty period, so I'm going to charge my hours. So we have that L1, L2, L3 model. So L1 is going to be your operator, L2 is going to be your production support, L3 is going to be your developer. So for the first 2 months, if any failures happen, L3 will log in and fix it. L2 will be like shadowing them. And then after 2 months, L2 will fix it. In that 2 months, L2 should learn every possible failure, and they should go through the code, and have any questions they should ask the L3. After 2 months, L3 should never ever be paged out. If you are ever paging them out, they will charge the company. Is that clear? So we have to make sure that all the documentation is complete. If L3 provided incomplete documents, you have to make sure that everything is complete before that person rolls off from the project. After 2 months, anytime you message the L3 person, the developer, he or she will charge the company, saying that I was paged out after hours, so I'm going to charge the company. For every hour, they'll charge some amount. And if L3 is being paged a lot, and they start adding those hours and charge the company, you will get a call from your manager saying that, why is L3 charging so much to the company? Like, why are we paging out so? You cannot say, oh, I'm not able to understand this workflow, and there's no, you'll have 2 months or 30 days or 45 days to understand completely, and never ever page. Once in a year or twice in a year where you cannot really understand, you're okay to page out, but you cannot page them out for every single failure. Is that clear?
Abdul, so I know you are talking about that one, but like, is there any way that like you can write down on an Excel that the paper worksheet that what's the like usual the general schema on the work, like as a work map? I'm not talking about the Powercenter mapping, but the work like a process mapping. That like first of all, we have to create the mapping. Let's say, I mean, I'm not sure that like as I researched, I see that there should be like a production, development, QA test, or something else. So like can we see that like where we have to start? Let's say first we have to create a mapping in this section, later that testing should be exactly, let's say, I don't know, like maybe in the production, then it has to be go to the development, we have to work with always production, then whenever development that like asking us something to do, then we have to make connection with the QA test. This process, the step of the
I
process,
already explained this on day one.
I understand, like, but I don't want to go back at work and listen to your the voice, Abdul. Don't get me wrong. If it's
Can do
gonna
it
be
tonight.
something on the paper, then why I have to call you all the time? So at least I can see that what's the steps, and I can make sure on my head that okay, Abdul told me that it is the general schema. Then I can see that, oh, okay, this is the company that I am working. We have something extra here. Then I can make it like some logic on my mind. But now all of them is confusion for me. That let's say I go to the work, I'm just telling you, let's say after a month. So I don't know like where I have to send my mapping, where I have to talk, or who's gonna ask me to do something, to whom I have to prepare the, the.
On day 2, I explained everything. You can watch the recording tonight, right? You don't have to watch the recording when you go to work.
No, Abdul, I watch all of the recording, and I like all the time watching them. But as a like
The second I explained why we have this. Remember, I explained like why we need data warehousing. Okay, I'll explain that.
yeah, because that's my confusion always. Like I'm not.
No, you're asking me something which I already explained. I had some other topic on mind today. Anyways, I'll explain.
Okay, you can do it later. I'm not asking you now. Like whenever, maybe you
No,
can.
actually, I was not planning to do this. Today I had some topics. Saturday I had some topics. Sundays I had some topic, and this topic I already covered. So.
Okay, so if you want to do it after class, I can stay here. I don't want to bother the
don't
other
worry
guys.
about
Go ahead,
it.
auto stays, and then I can stay here after work. I mean, I don't want to bother the other people.
It's okay. Let me complete that. So when you go to work, okay, first of all, before you join the company, there would be a business system analyst. Okay, there will be. Okay, forget about business system analyst. This is called as software development lifecycle, SDLC. Okay, there is a company called Walmart. There is a company called Walmart. Okay, they sell TVs. They sell a lot of products. One of the products they sell is TV. Okay, there is no source system, there is no database, there is no reporting, there is no ETL team, there is no database team, there is no Informatica admin, there is nothing. Okay, Walmart is a company, they sell TVs. Okay, there's a sales manager. Sales manager wants to know how much sales every person is, everybody. He has a team of 5 members. So 5 salesperson report to this person, to the sales manager. Okay, so there are 5 salesperson. They report to the sales manager. So their name is Tom, Sam, Abdul, Yasser, and Kamran. He wants to know. This manager wants to know how much sale each salesperson is doing every day, because at the end of the year, he wants to give them he or she wants to give them a promotion, like based on the sales they did. Right now, that information is not there anywhere, right? These people, what they do, they make a sale, cash register, they charge the amount for the price for the TV, and in the cash register, they make a purchase, and that person leaves. That information in the cash register, remember, I said cash register is going to be transactional data every day. So there is OLAP and OLTP, right? Yes or no? Or do you want me to explain OLTP and OLAP as well? You guys remember OLTP and OLAP?
Yes, I know. I remember this one.
Okay, so the cash register is going to be OLTP. Okay, so they make all of these people, they make sale every day in the cash register. Okay. Tomorrow Monday they make a sale and they go home. Tuesday they come home, they come in and make a sale. That information is not getting saved anywhere, right? This information is not getting saved anywhere from the cash register, right? So what's happened? So this manager, right, would reach out to Walmart headquarters and say, I need to run a report every day when I come in. Every morning, when I come in, I want to run a report and see how much sales this person did yesterday. Okay, is that clear to everyone? So this person, the sales manager, wants to find out how much sales his team is making every day. Okay, so he will reach out to Walmart headquarters and say, I need to run report every day and see how much sales my sales people are doing every day, because I want to know how they are performing. Right now, I have no visibility to the data. That data is there every day in the cash register. It's being entered and then it's being deleted next day. Cash register will not save historical data. Every day you make sale, 5 p.m. you will clear it out. Okay, so they will enter the information in the cash register, and that information gets saved in the OLTP, the online transactional process database. So this database is refreshed every day. So what happens? Walmart headquarters, they say, okay, very good. We will build a reporting system where every day you come in the morning and click on the box which says daily sales for yesterday. You click on it, it will display Tom, Sam, Abdul, Yasser, Kamran, and it will say 11, 10, something like this, 9, 8, 0, and then 7, something like this. And how much they sold, like 1,000. They made sales of 2,000. They made sale of 5,000, something like this. Okay, and how much profit they generated? They generated $200 profit. This person made a loss of $50. This person made a profit of $2,000, something like this, right? So this is quantity, this is total amount, this is profit, right? Based on this person knows, okay, Abdul made a very good, so end of the month I'll give him some bonus or something. Right now he doesn't have visibility to this data. So Walmart headquarters will first hire a business system analyst. Okay, they will hire a business system analyst. Usually these are all women. I don't know why, but all the companies I've worked in, they were women. Okay, so a business system analyst is so the Walmart headquarters will say, please, we hired this person. Please talk to business system analyst, and we will come up with a entire process. So this sales manager, his name is something. His name is Rab. So he reaches out to the business system analyst. Okay, this person is called as the end user. This person is called as the end user, or this person is also called as a business user. Okay, this person is called as a end user or business user. So this person reaches out to the BSA saying that I see that you have been assigned by Walmart to help me build this reporting system. This person will say yes. This person is functional and not technical. Okay, and not technical. This person does not know database. This person does not know SQL. This person does not know anything. This person knows Walmart functional knowledge. Like Walmart sells many products. One of the product is TVs. TV. There are many categories in TVs, and each TV, the price for each TV, like functional knowledge, how the system works. This person knows. But this person has no idea about databases, ETL tool. They have no idea. So what happens? So this end user will talk to this person and say, I need to build a report where it will show this data like this every day. Okay. So first they will hire. So this BS, a business system analyst or system analyst, knows that every day the salespeople enter information in the cash register and hit submit, this information gets stored in the transactional database, which is truncate and load every day. Okay, so she knows at least she can get started from here. So they will hire somebody who can extract data from OLTP and load it to OLAP. So extract, transform, and load. So who comes into picture here? ETL developer will come into picture here. So they will hire an ETL developer, say that you need to extract data from OLTP and load it to OLAP. In every single company, this is the process. You have to extract data from the front end OLTP and load it to analytical database, which is Oracle or SQL Server. Right now, so remember I showed you Adil's website. People enter information in the contact us and it gets saved into database. So we need to extract data from the front end and load it to. So the moment extract, transform, and load, ETL developer will come into picture. So they'll interview an ETL developer. So this is where your interview will happen. Okay, the ETL developer will come into picture and they will say, okay, I can extract data from any place and load it to anywhere in the way you want. What does ETL developer do? Extract data from one place, transform it, and make it look cleaner, and load it into another database. So they hire this person. They'll say, okay, give me. So this BSA will say, okay, we need to hire an ETL developer, and so this is an Informatica developer. This is an Informatica developer. Okay, they will also hire Informatica admin, and they will get a server, and they will buy Informatica software. Okay, so when they had, so they'll start to build a team. Okay, they start to build a team saying that we are going to hire an ETL developer, we will hire an Informatica admin, we will hire a Unix admin. The Unix admin will build a server and install operating system on it. Informatica admin will install Informatica software in this server. Okay, and then ETL developer will use the software Informatica admin installed on this Unix server and will build mappings. Now, when you start building mappings, when you extract data from the OLTP, you need to store it somewhere, right? Because this is transactional data. Every day, this information gets truncated. We need to build a data warehouse. So now we need a database. Now we need a database. So to maintain this database, you also need to hire a DBA. You also need to hire a DBA. So for Informatica server, you need Informatica admin. For database server, you need a DBA. And then you also need a Unix admin you need to hire all these people. You need to hire this. This is database. This is database. Okay, you need to hire a database admin. You need to hire database admin. Then you need to buy a server and you need to hire a server admin. Then you need to buy Informatica software. So 3 softwares, 3 admins, right? Sorry, let me put this in a better way. First, you will buy a server, and you will have a server admin. You will then get Informatica. They'll get Powercenter software. You will hire infra admin. You will buy a database. You will hire a database admin. Okay. Once they all build this, then you come into picture. At work, you will not install any of these. Right now in your computer, you install all of this. Informatica ETL developer will come in, and he or she, whenever they come in, they want Powercenter ready. They don't want to help with the installation. Okay. If this is not even ready, they will not even hire this person. So business user will go to BSA and say, I need reporting like this. So before they even do reporting, they first have to buy a server, get a server admin, buy Powercenter, get an Informatica admin, get a database, and get database admin. Once these softwares are bought, once they buy these softwares, and once they hire these resources, Once they hire these resources, then Informatica developer will come into picture. Right now with AWS, you don't have to worry about these three softwares. You don't have to worry about these three softwares. You don't have to worry about any admin position. The AWS, it destroyed the market for all these admins and all the softwares. That is the reason Amazon is the richest company in the world right now. You don't need server, you don't need software, you don't need database, you don't need admin, you don't need. I am my own admin right now. When I log into AWS, I am my own admin. So I'll come to that later. But right now I have my database, my server, my everything on one screen. So right now all the admins are really mad right now because everything is moving on to AWS. No company needs them. So when I go to services, this is my server. EC2 is my server. This is my database. This is my ETL2. Sorry, database. Yeah, this is, so if you click this, so the server is here. So my server is here. I can create a Unix server, Windows server. You can create any server you want here. Okay. See, in one click, my server will be up and running. It can take backups. It can load balance. You can do anything in literally one click. My server will be up and running. Okay. I don't want to run it now. In one click, my server will be up and running. Okay. My databases. So if I go to databases, I can pick and choose if I want SQL server database or I want no SQL. Okay. That's it. AWS. This one. This will extract data from the front end. So this AWS will connect to Walmart's cash register, extract data, and load it into the target database, which is in AWS. So I'll come to that later, but right now, just assume that there is no AWS. So right now, so they will hire all these people. They'll buy all these softwares, and they will hire all these three resources. Okay, and then they will hire an ETL developer. ETL developer, when that person comes into picture, they will say, you need to extract. So when this so anytime, let's take a step back. Anytime a person makes a sale, what is generated? A sale ID. That when you go to CVS or go to Walmart, if you look at your receipt, what do you have? You have sale ID. You have salesperson's name, right? You will have the salesperson name, and then you will have the employee ID of that person, right? You will have employee ID of that person. You will have store ID, and then you will have, what else will you have? You will have dollar amount. You will have quantity, right? Is that clear? These are the things you'll see on the sale ID is one. The salesperson's, you will not have salesperson name. They want to maintain privacy. They will say employee ID. The person who made the sale is one. Store ID is one. Amount is $100, and the quantity is one. What is this information? It is this information here. Sale ID, total sales quantity, employee ID, store ID.
Fact.
That is transactional data, fact data. This is transactional data, okay? Because this information is getting generated from the transactional system, right? So your cash register, you make transactions here, like thousands of transactions. So your receipt will be generated like this, and this will be stored in the OL AP. This will be stored in OL AP. Now, this is a database where it's stored. Now, you will be asked to extract data from this OL AP, and you're told to load it into OLTP. Okay. This has to be very, very fast, because when you're buying a TV, you don't want to wait more than 10 seconds at the cash register. So that's the reason you will not maintain history here. It is supposed to be very, very fast. And
Isn't it OLTP on the top and
oh, sorry, you're right. This is OLTP. This is OLTP. This is OLTP. This is OLAP. Okay. So your source system will be this. Okay. And you will load it into OLTP. So you will take this data from the source system, source database, and load it to staging table first. This will be like sales stage. So you're loading data from a table to another table. You cannot take this data and start doing it. You can, but that's not a good practice. Okay? We will load it to sales staging. From sales staging, before that, you also have, this is generated from, where is this generated from? This is generated from the person who is making a sale. Okay, then apart from that, you also have two other files which comes in. One is generated by the HR, right? Daily sales is generated by the person making a sale at Walmart. From the headquarters, you will have one more file coming in, employee flat file, and then you will have a store flat file, right? So Walmart headquarters will send you this. Walmart store will send you this information, right? They will, the HR will send you this information: sample ID, name, depth ID, then salary, something like this, right? They will send you one up to. Oh, sorry, we have salespeople in here. One Tom, this person works for this, and then salary is 1,000. Okay, they will send you this. The headquarters will send you this. Okay, the headquarters will also send you, and at the headquarters there are many teams. One is HR team. HR team will send you HR information. This will be generated by some other team who is keeping a track of all the stores present. So store ID, you will have store ID, and then this present in which zip code. I'm going to keep it simple: store ID, zip code, and location. Okay, so this is store ID is 1. This is present in 1111 zip code, and the location is NY, something like this. They'll send you this flat file, or they will also have a database. So you will take this and load it to a staging. You will take this, load it to staging. You will take this, load it to staging. This one you will load it to a dimension. This one you will load it to dimension. Once these two dimensions are loaded, you will take this flat file. You will take this sales staging and create this. We create this. Okay, you will create this. Once you do this, you will go back and tell the BSA, business system analyst, that okay, I already built a data warehouse. I built a data warehouse by taking the data from OLTP. I loaded into an OLAP. OLAP is always a data warehouse. Okay, so I'm loading historical data with don't tell them SCD type 2. They have no idea. They'll just mention you're maintaining history. Your ETL architect. There will be one ETL architect also. Okay, this person will work on all the database, all the data with all the multiple ETL teams in the company. There will be many ETL teams. So this architect, before they buy Informatica software, they have to hire an ETL architect. They have to hire an ETL architect, because they want to know which version of Powercenter you want, what should be the RAM. They will ask all that questions, like what should be they cannot just, there should be one ETL person who should buy this software, right? So ETL architect will tell the Informatica admin, we need to have 16 GB RAM and like 32 GB hard, like they'll give the specification. This ETL architect will help design how staging tables are created, how dimensions and how facts are created. Also how how the incremental load is done, how the parameterization is done, how everything is done. So this person will not build mappings. This person will only design projects and say, you have to do this, you have to do incremental load here. Okay, so all these people are hired, and then this person, ETL architect, will interview this ETL Informatica. In the interview, there will always be business system analyst, there will be ETL architect, and there will be one functional person. Always, there will always be these people. Okay, so you extracted data from here and you loaded into the data warehouse. So this is your final thing. Once you do this, you tell the business system analyst, okay, I have tested and everything. So report, now they hire a report developer. A report developer will come. So business user cannot look at this data, and this business user who works at Walmart, he or she has no idea what this means, right? They don't know SQL. So somebody has to put this in a beautiful format. Somebody has to put this in a beautiful format and present it. For that, you have tools like Tableau. Tableau is actually very hot in the market right now. So you have why is this not working? Okay. So the report developer will use business intelligence tools like Tableau or OBIEE or Cognos or one of these many ETL tools, one of these many business intelligence tools. Okay, you can display this data in the form of a graph or like any of these formats. Okay, so I can connect this. I don't know why this is not working. Oh, it's open. I clicked on it 3 times. Okay, one more time. One more. Oh. This. You only get 14 days free trial. And these are very expensive. Okay, you can, so they will use, so you can connect to your Oracle database. I tried connecting yesterday. For some reason, it's giving me an error. All it does is it displays this data in a beautiful, like for example, if a person wants to know all the employees working in department ID 90, that person, the CEO of a company is not going to do select star from HR.employees where department ID equals to 90, right? No, they don't know SQL. So report developer will come in here. For some reason it's not connecting. I don't know why. I don't know why. So you can connect to any of these databases, or you can import data from a flat file, text file, JSON, Microsoft Access, any of these. So anyways, so try and see if you can do it. If I can do some more. So you can build a report. You can either build, see, do you see dimensions and measures here? So dimensions is something you can measure something against. Like measure means you can display data in, I can open some dummy connector. New dashboard. I want something like that. I have to look at this. I don't know how to build reports in Tableau. I know a little bit of Cognos, but yeah, I'll look into it. So these are many these are the different reports you can try, or Tableau also has.
I was thinking that this one is someone else's doing. So this is kind of our part of our job, right?
No, it's not part of your job. It's a report developer's job. But you should know how to build basic reports. You don't have to know a lot, but you should know how to build basic reports. So let me go back to my Excel. So that is not your job. That doesn't mean you should be. Report developer has no idea, but he or she should know how you extract data, how you perform SAD type 1 and 2. Remember, I said report developer should know a little bit about ETL. ETL should know a little bit about report development. So anyways, so once they will take this data and they will present it they will build a report and they'll put some buttons here, daily sales. When you click on the daily sales button on the backend, it will go and say select star, select total sales, select MD key, total sales from fact table where active flag equals to Y. No, not active flag, where insert date equals to 725 sys date. So it will return. It will not return. This is not used for reporting. This is only used for ETL. It will return sales ID 1. Then this one will join with this one and return the name also. Where is it? It will join with 1. So it will return sale ID 1, employee ID 1. Sorry, you have MD key. So you will join this one and this one. So you will bring in this fact and the dimensions. All right, where are your dimensions? Okay. So you will bring in the fact and the dimensions into the report. Over there, you will display sales ID 1, this column, this column. This column you will not repeat. You will not display S key and a D key. You will return ID, this one, this one. You will join this one with this one over here and return this one and this one. Okay, you will not display this. Instead, you will take this at the report level. You will join this one with this one and return this one, this one. So, and you will say where insert date equals to sys date. So when a person clicks on the today's data in the backend, it will join these 3 tables and display like it will say 1. So this is how the output in the report will look like. Sales ID, employee ID, temp name, total sales quantity. I don't have profit and all that. Imagine that those columns were there, and data as of something like that. Okay, so over here it will show one name is Abdul. Total sales Abdul did was you will also have the store ID. This is reporting done at employee and store level. Like this, and then you will have store ID and store name also. You will join on store D key and return store ID and store name. You will have store ID. You will have all natural keys here. You will not have any surrogate keys while reporting, showing the store ID and store name. So you will say 100. Total sales is 100. Quantity is 1. Store ID is 1. Store name is state is CA, and then data is as of 725. Okay. Somebody wants to, on day 2, if they want to look at yesterday's data, so you will have data as of date. One column will be there in the report. You will say when you click on the drop down, it will have yesterday's date. So when you select yesterday's date, it will join these 2 tables, but instead it will say where data as of date equals to insert date -1. So it will, on 726, it will display data as of 725. So it will say, this is how it will display data in like a graph. It will say Abdul made like 5 units, Turab 3, Kamran 1. It will show graphs like this. You can look at monthly data. You can see like a pie chart, dimensions and measures. So measure is your transactional data, dimensions is your dimension data. So I don't know. There are many ways you can store data. So for example, you can display data like Abdul made this much sale. So the CEO and CTO, they're not going to understand data when you display it like this. They're not going to understand data when you display it like this, right? But when you display it like this, they would quickly understand. So all they're taking is they're taking data which you loaded into the dimensions and facts, and report developer will just show data in like a beautiful format. Okay, or they'll show data in this format. They'll show data in this format. They'll show data in this format. If somebody says this report is incorrect, okay, somewhere over here, so where is this data coming from? It's coming from a combination of multiple tables here from the database, right? It's coming from a combination of these two. Somebody says this report doesn't look good, so you will have to check the backend query which is running. So when you get the backend query, it will tell you which tables it is referring. It will show sales, fact sales dimension, emp dimension, and store dimension. Somebody says the store data is wrong, or the employee data is wrong, or the sales data is wrong, you would have to backtrack from the report to either the fact or the dimension or the dimension. If it's sales data, you will have to backtrack to sales, and then you will have to see how the fact sales is getting loaded. You will have to look at the mapping. Then you will have to look at the source flat file which you got. If in the source flat file or in the OLTP system, this was 100 and you're displaying 200 in the report, that means you messed up somewhere. If the business user says Abdul made only $100 sale, but why is it showing 200? And if you check the front end shows 200 and you're loading 100, then there is a problem how the data was generated. Okay, so you would have to check with the source team why we are receiving 200 instead of 100. So they just display data in this nice format. That's it. They'll just display data in this nice format.
So that means an ETL developer can also assume the role of a report.
No.
No.
No. Once again, I'm saying you should only know how to troubleshoot. You will not be asked to build reports. Listen to what I'm saying very carefully, which I already report.
But what I'm saying is, it's probably easy if you are already ETL developer to gain skills of report.
Okay, if you want to spend another 2-3 months, it's a 2-3 months course to learn this. If you want to spend another 2-3 months learning how to be a report developer, please go ahead. You will easily get a job, but it's not possible. See, Informatica itself, we did not cover like other transformations. There's like hundreds of other scenarios which we never covered. So be master in one skill set, be master in one subject area, and be in other ones, be slightly like Unix. You should know how to move files, how to rename. Report development, you should know how to just look at the backend query and how to generate, how to extract the backend query and like that. ETL, you should be 10 out of 10. In other technologies, you can be 3 out of 10 or 4 out of 10 or 5 out of 10. But you don't need to know report development. Once again,
yes. For later in the future, if you just whatever.
No, there will be. You will never be a report developer. I've been working for 13 years. I don't even have time to learn more in ETL. There is big data technology. You will never be a report developer, but you should know how a basic report works.
Got it.
You should just know how, if somebody says this report is displaying wrong data, okay, so you don't even need to know report development. You can just tell the report developer, can you extract the backend query for the user which is complaining about the report and send it to me? Okay, that they will send it to you. You can just tell the report developer, can you, we received a ticket saying that this report is displaying bad data. Can you run that report and give me the backend query? They will do it, but you don't have to be dependent on others for smaller things like that. So as an ETL developer, you should know how to run a report and how to extract the backend query for that report. That's all you should know. That's all you should know. If you know these two things, you'll never have to speak to a report developer.
Okay, thank you.
So going back here, so where was it? So report developer. Okay, so you build a data warehouse. Report developer will take the dimensions in fact and display data and give access to this business user. This business user runs the report every day morning. He comes in, it will be just one click for him. He opens Tableau, and over here it will say daily sales or something. He will just click on it. Then everything is fine. After 2 months, this person says, can you also add a column? I want in my reports, I want to see, in the report, I want to see what's the brand name. What's the brand name? Like, for example, it doesn't say LG or whatever over here, right? Or something like he has another request, he or she has another request. So this business user will go back and talk to BSA. Business user will never interact with ETL developer or report developer. Okay. If business user has any questions, he or she will contact BSA, and BSA will assign work to this person or this person. Okay. Now business user says, I also want to see, what is some example? I want to see like which brand, the manufacturer. Okay. So in your sales receipt, right? In your sales receipt, you will see LG, Panasonic, all of that, right? So that information is there in, see, OLTP is like, it's like tons of data in it, but it's not structured properly. It will be one big table which will say sale ID, employee ID, store. When you look at your receipt, all the columns which are there is transactional data. So there will be another column here, manufacturer. So previously you were not bringing it in because you did not have that requirement. So business user will say, I need to see the manufacturer also. This person will go directly talk to BSA. Technical team will never talk to business users. Business user will never talk to technical team. This person doesn't even know that these people exist. Okay. Whenever BSA is like a broker for business user and the technical team. This is the entire technical team. So business user will say, I want to see manufacturer also. So BSA will tell ETL developer, you need to extract one more column. So your staging table, you will have to extract one more column from the OLTP source to staging to employee dimension, and then this staging, this dimension will not have any changes. Then you will have one more column here. Actually, no, over here you will not have one more column. So you will join on. Sorry, that information. Yeah, you will have one more column here, manufacturer, because that is transactional. This is all transaction. So that person will extract data and load it to the data warehouse, will go back and tell the report developer, okay, I extracted one more. So once you're done with your task, you will go and tell your BSA, I extracted that column. Please talk to report developer to extract that from the dimensions and fact and load it to the report. Okay. Once you're done, you talk to this person. This person will go talk to the next person. Once this person says, I'm done with I've added to this report, I've already tested and it looks fine, we'll go back, talk to this person, will then go talk to business user and say, our team has already added an extra column, please test it out. So they will have a development report, testing report, user acceptance, and then a production. If business user gives the go ahead, we move the code to production. So every morning he or she will come and say daily sales. So he'll click on that, it will display or whatever the person sales every day. It will show like store. This time it will show up at the previously we were doing reporting at employee and store level. Now you can do reporting at employee, store, and the manufacturer. This business user will say, I also want to see report for the entire store. I don't want to see per employee. I want to see for entire store, right? Because he wants to look at entire store level, employee level, everything, right? So the report developer will have to build another report where he doesn't take an empty key in the report. Okay. So that person, so you will have to, so the report developer will take this fact and he will ignore the store D key and he will only display this column, this column, this column, this column, and instead of displaying MD key, he will join on MD key and return employee ID. MD key, and he will return these two columns, and at the store level. So he will not take MD key, he will take store D key, and he will ignore employee information because we want reporting at store level. So he will take this store D key and he will join on store D key in the dimension and return store ID and store name. Store ID and name. And when you generate this will generate total sales at the store level. This will generate total sales at employee and the store level. So this will give you a higher picture, a higher level picture. This will give you a more granular. This is more detailed. This is at the store level. This is at the store and employee level. Now they can say, I only want to see for if this person is managing multiple stores, this manager. He will say, I don't want employee level. I only want store level. Yeah. If this person is managing multiple stores, he will say, I don't want store level. I want to see for each employee. Then the report developer will bring in these columns, and then we'll bring in these columns of transactional columns, and then we'll return the employee level will return this column, and instead of empty key, he will return the natural key columns from the store. So he will return store employee emp ID and name. So if manager wants to see sales at the employee level, he will report developer will build this report. At the store level, build this report. At the store and employee level, he will build this report. So you will have multiple reports here. Sales at store level. No, sales by employee, sales by store, sales by employee and store, sales by year, sales by manufacturer, like how many LG TVs we have sold, sales by the country level, by the state levels. They will have multiple reports here. Report developer will build multiple reports, but they are taking your base information from the dimensions and facts which you loaded. Okay, that's why it's report developer will also have a lot of tons of work to do. So every time, so let me go back here. So every time a business user has a requirement, he or she will go to BSA. BSA will tell this person extract another column and let me know once it's done. Then person will go and report developer say ETL developer extracted this column, display it in the report. Okay, so this process is called agile methodology. Okay, this means anytime a change is made, we will do this in small this is called sprint cycle. So first sprint cycle was display these columns, second sprint cycle was display these extra column, third sprint cycle was a big requirement is broken down into smaller sprint cycles. There is another one called waterfall. Nobody's using waterfall these days. So this like big government companies, they like government organizations, they used to do it. But waterfall means it's like a waterfall, like how a waterfall is, right? So it will be like flow straight and then fall down. So they will gather requirements over like 6 months, hire an ETL developer and tell that ETL developer, please build this. But over here, it is like build and then like agile. It's like a display for the first release. Display 10 columns. For the second release, add 2 more columns. Because business user does not want to wait for 6 months to see the complete report, right? He or she will say, no, give me something basic right away, and then we can keep adding to it. It also depends what the business user wants. If the business user says, no, it's very urgent, I want something right away in like a month, and then later on we can keep adding. But for now, these are important columns for me. I want these right away. For example, this is important to me right away. Later on, I want to see the sales I made at country level, at the manufacturer level, at like all those things. So he'll say, but for immediately, I want this in So they will create a roadmap. In 2 months, we want to display this report. By the end of 4th month, we want to display this like extra columns, and we want to display a report with more data. At the end of 6 months, we want to display this. If so, this is waterfall, and this is agile, and then waterfall. Agile waterfall is you have the business requirement. You will tell the business user, please give us your complete requirement. We need some time, and we will build it and give it to you. The business user says, I have plenty of time. I don't need the reports for the next 6 months. Then they will follow waterfall. If the business user says, I wanted something right away because I'm not able to see the daily sales my people are making, I quit because I don't know, some of them are not doing the proper sales. I want to look at their history. I want to look at their daily sales. If Monday one person did not do good sales, I need to call that person and talk to them. Day 2, somebody else did not make a good sale. I need to know the reason, right? You need to know the reason why they're not making sales. But if you're not storing this in the database, and if you're not displaying it in the report, you cannot take a decision who to fire, who to give promotion, and like, you cannot take intelligent decisions.
Can
right?
I ask something, Abdul?
Yeah.
So I have a friend who works in Conet, right? He's AWS worker, right? So he has they have a project that's already been prepaid for like 1.5 years.
Okay.
So does that mean that they have this waterfall
Not
concept?
necessary. Actually, nobody is following the. Actually, nobody's following. Yeah, it could be if it's taking that long. No, if they're so there are multiple releases, right? So there is like one cycle and then the second. If one cycle is taking 1.5 years, that means they are following waterfall methodology. But if the entire project is taking 1.5 years, that's okay. Maybe it's split into smaller cycles. You need to ask that person if it's one production release which is taking 1.5 years, which is really strange. If it's taking that long, I don't know, maybe the project is that complicated, but it's very unusual to have a project, one single production release which is taking 1.5 years. Usually I'm in my at my university, they'll say, can you add this column, and they'll give me like 2 weeks. So I add the column, and then I'll tell the report developer, please. I mean, I know the report developer very well. I'm very good friends with them. So we don't even interact with business user anymore. When we get the requirement, we just work among ourselves. So a lot of companies these days, right? They say they are asking, they don't want to hire a business analyst. They are saying, have you ever worked with business user directly? A lot of requirements there, interviews they're asking, how do you get requirements? So they want people to be independent. They don't want to say, see, if you're telling this person something, this person is going back and telling this person, then this person gets the information, then like this. No, they don't want to. They want to cut out this. They just want to. They want to have ETL developer, report developer interact directly with business user. That's another new concept which is coming in. They are saying we don't want to have so many layers. We just want people to be independent and work directly with business user. But after one release, they get rid of business analyst because this person knows where to extract data, how many columns are there, and usually after like the first production release or second or third production right now, when I first joined, I used to bother my business analyst a lot because I had no idea where the data was, which columns, and everything. Now I work directly with business user and report developer. I don't even remember the last time I talked to my BS for requirements. Business user is also comfortable with me, so she reaches out to a report developer and an email and say, I need to display this column. So I know this column is present in this table. I need to bring it in, or I need to join on some other table and bring it in. So right now I'm comfortable working without a BS. That takes some time. When you spend some time at a project, you get to know where this data is. So this is
we're allowed to ask, right? We are allowed to ask questions when we start to work because we're not gonna know where it is.
Yeah. Actually, you shouldn't be even asking questions. They should tell you, okay, This is the entire process at the company. This is how you should, you have something called as a KT session or a knowledge transfer, KT. So they need to tell you everything. They cannot just expect, they give you a laptop and say, can you start building a data warehouse? No. At least for like a week or 2 weeks, they'll give you papers, documents, and say, this is this is how we need to build a data warehouse, and this is how we need to do reporting, and this is how you need to extract data from this one. We need to do incremental load, parameterize this. This is how we load dimensions, is SCD1 or 2, facts are SCD1 or SCD2. Like this is how we do error handling, and we do like we receive only one file for this table, and this table will receive multiple files. So you have to do direct load, indirect load, and all those things, incremental load, and parameter file. We have to extract data from it. So you will have a bunch of meetings for the first 2 weeks. When you join a company, your access probably takes like 2 weeks, and then by the time you get your access, you should be ready with all these. They'll give you a design document and say, this is how we load, extract data, how we transform and load, how we do reporting, and all those things.
Abdul, that was actually what I was like in my afraidness. Now it's nice that you mentioned that like the design documentations. That was my afraidness. That like that's why I was at the beginning asking you that I don't want to go and then sit and just be in shock that like what's going on here. Like some documentations goes to the other side and someone like
no, I actually on day 2.
This one is good. Now you explained, and I really like understand like what's going on here. This schema is very good.
No, that's what I'm saying. I explained the same thing on the second day. I don't know if you forgot or if you skipped through it, but I explained the entire thing on the second day. You can watch the recording.
I think now we just have the whole picture because we did not know how the mappings were looking like,
Yes,
the workflow. Now we have the whole picture now.
Now it makes me like a sense really that like okay, like what's this business user? Because my previous job, to be honest, like this BCA, they removed this BCA. Like this user
they won't keep it
working with ETL here.
Yeah, they won't. Usually, business system see. I'm not saying anything bad about business system analytics, but they don't actually bring a lot. The first 6 months, yes, but after that, once you know where the source system is and how everything works, you actually don't need a BSA. That's why in interviews these days they're asking like, can you work with business users directly, or how did you receive indirectly? They'll ask, how did you receive requirements? So you have to say, I worked with the business users and I worked with the business user directly to gather the requirements. There is something called as requirement gathering phase. So in requirement gathering, you will have business user, report developer, ETL developer, and BSA. They'll sit in a room and they'll say, okay, the requirement will always start from here. Okay, this person will say, I want to display a report which will display this. So BSSA will say, okay, yeah, we have a system where we have all these columns, and we'll ask ETL developer, this one has the transactional system has like 100 columns. I need only like 5 columns and load it here. So I'll do that. Then after I do it, I'll tell report developer, I'm done report it. This person will build a report and give access to this person. This person will run the report and say, good, but I also want to see this. The day this person says, this is it, this is the final report, I never want any more thing, this person will get laid off, this person will get laid off, this person will get laid off, everybody will get laid off. Okay, or they'll move these people to another project. The day business users say, I mean, usually that never happens. There is always, once you work in a project, there'll always be some requirements. They'll keep changing, or business user will ask for more reports or a detailed report or reporting at more detailed level. But the day business user says, that's it, he goes to the corporate office will keep track on the business user. Like, is your work done? Do we need to keep these people? Give us a reason why we need to keep paying these people so much money. This person will say, yes, I still need reporting. Without the reporting, I cannot take an intelligent decision. So this is called a business intelligence tool. So based on this, without these reports, I cannot tell which person is doing good or which store is doing good. If a person is not doing good, They can get rid of that person. If a store is not going good, they'll shut down. How do you think stores are shut down? Right? They will run a report and say, show me the 5 highest revenue generating locations, or show me the 5 lowest revenue generating. Okay, this one, shut it down. That's it. With these business intelligence tools, they can take a decision. Okay, shut these 5 down. We don't need this anymore. These are loss making. That's it. Tomorrow they'll get an email saying that we are shutting down these 5 stores. Like 3-4 months ago, we received in the news, they said Sears is shutting down so many stores, and they're going to just keep like 5. How did they come to that decision? So they ran a report which picked up data from not just 1 week or 1 month. It will look at the data for the last 5 years or 10 years and see, okay, how is this store doing? How is this store doing? How is it? Okay, so something like this. Okay, shut these.
Okay, Abdul, I was just wondering, for OLTP data, what type of database they use? Is it Oracle or
It's
something?
Oracle only. It's Oracle only, but they don't maintain any history there, or they don't. It's just daily. Okay, and that data in the OLTP, it will exactly have the same columns which you see on your receipt. Okay, they will say, okay, shut these 10 stores. These are not doing good. Let's stay with these. So in one screen, they will say, that's it. Get rid of these bottom, or you can put a filter saying that all the stores generating less than 10 million. So it will show you all these. So it will say, okay, shut this one, shut this one, shut this one, shut this one down. Let's give 1 more year for these stores to turn around things. These ones we can give them promotion. That's how they take decisions. Like so, a CEO will not go to database and execute select statements or all those things. They'll just they'll run the reports and take a decision. That's why it's called business intelligence tools. So they can take intelligent decisions. So this is how you do it. This Tableau is very popular in the market right now. I actually downloaded yesterday. It takes like 2 minutes to not even 2 minutes. It takes like a minute to download this. I imported some data here. I still need to know because I never worked on this Tableau. See, Superstore data. Yeah, you can import data from flat file, XML. You can import data from anywhere in here. See, if you want to see how the store is doing in the last 5 years, you can just move this around. In the backend, it will run in the backend it will run the where statement where year -5 or b. So you keep moving this. Do you see it's running around in circles? It is generating sequels at the backend. Okay, if you do something like this, it will see it is executing sequels in the backend. You click on anything, it means it is. You double click on anything, it is running SQL statements in the backend and displaying the data. So yeah, I was trying to connect to my Oracle database because I wanted to import employees table and I wanted to see all the employees for department ID 90. The CEO or CTO, the CEO or CFO is not going to do select star from HR.employees where department ID equals to 90, right? So when they run the report, so they will have a report called as all employees. They'll click on that and then they will say, I want to see employees in department ID 90. So they'll click on the drop down. We'll have 10, 20, 30, 40. That drop down will have all of these department IDs 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So from the drop down, they'll select 90. So when they select 90, the moment you double click on something in the report or you select something from the drop down, a query will run. So when they select 90 from the drop down, this query will execute in the backend where department _ID Goes to 90. This is what executes in the backend. Okay, and then it displays in the reporting tool here. So this is how the entire software development lifecycle. This is called as the SDLC process. So this is how your software development lifecycle happens in a typical company. Before they even hire you, they have to build up an environment. They have to set up an environment. Okay, they cannot hire you first. They cannot hire an ETL developer first and the report developer without these things. Okay, so they will also have to buy a report from the market, and they will have to have a report admin. Every application will have an admin. Server will have an application admin. Powercenter will have an admin. Database will have an admin. Report will have a report admin. They will set up all these softwares. Then developers will come in, and if they hire these people, if they hire this report developer and data ETL, if they hire ETL developer and report developer before these things are set up, these guys will sit and not do anything, and they'll have to pay them. They'll ask them, why are you not working? They'll say, there is no Powercenter installed. Where am I supposed to work? So they will hire these people, admins first, and then developers. Now coming to this, all these whatever database, server, ETL tool, database, reporting, everything is on one screen here. So all these admin jobs are gone these days. This is your server. Okay, this is your database. This is ETL tool. You don't even know what is the reporting. AWS reporting. AWS metric reporting, or AWS Amazon QuickSight. Is QuickSight? Is there something called as QuickSight? Yeah. See, fast, easy to use business analytics. No, I don't want to sign up. Okay. You can. So where is QuickSight here? Oh yeah. You have QuickSight. You have ETL. See, ETL and reporting are always together. It comes under analytics, right? So you have your server, you have your database, you have your ETL, you have reporting. Apart from that, you have so many other things here. And on one screen, you can run your company from here. So previously, admin would do this. Right now, if I want to set up a server, it's just one click. It is literally one click. So I can set up a server. If I just click on launch instance, that is it. It will set up a server. This server is in East Coast. Or if you have an existing server, if you want to bring into ETL, Amazon AWS, you can migrate from that one to this one. Or if you go here, if you want to set up a database, if you want to set up a SQL database, you'll click here. Okay, it will give you 6 options here. All right, it will give you 6 options. You can. The good thing about here is if you bought a server and if it's running out of space, you have to tell the Unix admin to go and add extra hard drive. So that person will have to drive to the location where the server is present, go into the room, add an extra disk. Okay, over here you can automatically select if my database is 90% full, increase it 10% additional. You don't have to tell anyone. You don't have to buy anything. Okay, it will automatically charge you a little bit more. For example, Best Buy, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, it will run with normal 1 GB. Suddenly, Amazon AWS detects that the Best Buy servers are getting overloaded. It will just send you an email saying that your servers were 90% full. As per our previous agreement, this will be all automated. Nobody is sitting and monitoring. They will write a script saying that if it's 90% full, increase the hard disk by 10%. So they'll say, as per your requirement, we automatically increased the server capacity by 10% more. You have to take no additional action. You will be charged accordingly. And in January, in February or March, it detects that the Best Buy server doesn't have that much data. So it is running at 80% capacity. So automatically it will reduce it. That 10% which it added, automatically it will reduce, right? But if you bought that server in your company, now if the number of transactions coming in has gone down, you're stuck with extra hard drive, right? You will have to take it to the market and sell it, or you will have to store it. Next year again, in November or December, you have to send the Unix admin and to go and install it, right? So this is how AWS is picking up market by giving everything on one screen. So you can create a database. You can create any database you want. Like it gives you 6 options. Okay, you can create an Oracle database. You can create SQL Server database, Postgres, MariaDB. These are all SQL Server. These are all SQL. Okay, if you don't want this, you can just go back and say, okay, I don't want this. I don't want this. I want a NoSQL. So I will just go here and click on NoSQL database. I can create a NoSQL database. And if you don't want this, if you want to see graphical database, like everything in graphs, you can use Neptune. So everything is data is displayed not in columns and rows. It is displayed in graphs. The day you don't want it, you can shut it down from here. But if you bought a database server, and if you don't need it, you're stuck with it. You have to go back and sell it to somebody else who wants it. Is that clear why AWS is more popular these days? Like all the admin positions are gone. So people who used to be Unix admin, they are moving on to different they are moving on to different technologies. So going back here, okay, let me, where did it hide it? Okay, so let me, okay, so I need 45 minutes. So I have it's 7 o'clock, 7:45, I'll end the class here. So what is AutoSys? So AutoSys is a scheduling tool. You already know how to schedule workflows, right? You know how to schedule workflows from here. Workflows, edit, and go to scheduler. Okay, you can schedule a workflow from here. But I worked in 7 different projects, 7 or 8, I don't remember. Only one company was using Informatica Scheduler. Usually, no company will use Informatica Scheduler because it's not powerful enough. Informatica is an ETL tool. For scheduling, they will buy something else from the market. There are like hundreds of scheduling tools in the market. Okay, but no, very few companies, like smaller companies, will use this, or somebody who has like straightforward scheduling process. Like for example, in a bank, I want to run a workflow on the end of the quarter, end of the fiscal quarter. I don't have that calendar built in, right? I don't even have that calendar built in. So I can say run on the first, second, third, fourth, last day. What if I want to run a workflow on the second last day of the second last business day of the month? What if I want to run a report on the first fiscal day of the fiscal year, right? What if I want to run a workflow on the 7th? What if I want to run a workflow on the if I want to run a workflow on the 5th? What if I want to run a workflow on the 5th Wednesday of every week? I don't have that option, right? So what if I want to run what if I want to run a workflow on every end of quarter? Like there are 4 quarters in a year. I want to run on the first day of the quarter of every quarter. I want to run a job 4 days a month, 4 days a year, first day of the quarter. So this is used for simple scheduling. Okay, but if you want something more customizable, like more customizable, then you can do whatever you want over here also. But if you want to run a workflow on the first day of the fiscal year, you have to write an ETL logic. You have to write in database. You have to write calendar, not something. You'll have to do something in the expression. If it doesn't match that condition, you will run the workflow every day. If it doesn't match that condition in the expression, it will error out. It will exit out. But it's too much work, right? So most of the banks and insurance companies use something called as Autosys. Okay, it's owned by CA Technologies, and unfortunately, we cannot download and practice it. Nobody will hire you or not select you because you know an reporting tool, because you know a scheduling tool. Nobody cares. It's good to have. I don't need to show this. Even if I don't show it, you will still get a job. But it's good to know one scheduling tool apart from Powercenter scheduling. Okay. So how do you schedule a workflow? You just click, and do that, right? So suppose if you want to run a workflow on every day at like 6 p.m. So you'll go to workflows, edit, you'll go to scheduler. This is a simple scheduling. You can say schedule. You can say uncheck this, customize, repeat. I want to run this workflow on every single day except weekends and then I want to run this at 6 or 7:15. So I will say 15 and I will say forever. Okay. And say apply, say okay, say apply, say okay. Control S, and then I will right click on this and say schedule workflow, which I've already shown plenty of times before. So this workflow will run every single day except Saturdays and Sundays. Now, how do you do the same thing? So what happens? Now at 7:15, this workflow runs. So how does a workflow run? How does an actual, what is going to, so what happens when you right click and say start or restart? Okay. So Informatica has a built-in utility called PMCMD.
It is in the bin, Abdul. Go back in server, bin. Okay, it's gonna be server and bin. Yeah, first one. All the way down.
Yeah, this one. This is the utility which runs a workflow. Okay. So I want the location. In interview, they'll ask you, how do you run a workflow from the Windows command task? Okay, or from the Unix server. So first you go to the location where PMCMD is installed and make sure that PMCMD is working by invoking it. So you just click on PMCMD, it says invoked at this time. So if I want to run a workflow from PMCMD, how would I do it here? So this is the syntax. Okay, short interview question. So this is the syntax: PMCMD start workflow -sv. You need to type in the integration service name, the domain name, user ID, password. Usually passwords are encrypted. You won't have passwords like this. And then the folder, and then the workflow name. So if I want to run, for example, let me run this workflow. Okay, so PMCMD start workflow -sv. What is my integration service name? My integration service name is _SVCS. So _SVCS. what is my domain name is going to be the same. This is my user ID. My password is the same, I think. Okay, my folder name is development. Yeah, so this is how I can run my workflow from the operating system, Unix or so look at the screen here, and I'm going to exit. Okay.
So from the command line, how will you see the available workflows, a list of workflows or other things?
There is another command. Right now, there is another command. From the backend, you can see all the workflows present and everything, all the failed workflows and all those. You can stop a workflow from the backend, everything. If you want to see a list of available workflows, there is another command. But right now, I'm just showing you how to run a workflow. So look at this. So from the backend, I'm going to just write pmcmd and hit enter. See, it started the workflow. I mean, it might fail or something, but I don't know. But this is how you start a workflow from the backend. Short interview question. You have to pmcmd start workflow -sv, integration service name -d, the domain name -u, user ID, password -f, the folder name. Folder means don't put C Informatica 9.6.1. Folder is this folder, Informatica folder. And then you need to enter the workflow name. Now, so this is how workflow is executed. Now, if you want to run a workflow after another workflow, so you will just, you will either go here and go to components and go to post session success. Oh, this is post session failure. You can go to post session success command. And over here, you can just create something and type in pmcmd, blah, blah, blah. You can just type in this. Okay, once this workflow completes, the second workflow, I'm running the same workflow one after the other, but if I want to run this one, you can either do it that way, or you can get a command task. Same thing. You can double click on this commands. You can do the same thing here. You can either do it this way or this way. Okay. I don't like to have extra tasks. That's why I try to do it on the post session success command. Only if it's, then I have to, if I use this, then I'll have to go here and say previous task status equals to succeed. Anyways, so this is what happens when you run the workflow. So if I want to, for example, if I want to delete a file every day at 5 p.m., how would I do it? I will just call this as wf_delete_file. Okay, and then I'll get this thing. So if I want to delete, let's say, if I want to delete this emp raw data every day, so all I can do is just say, go here, double click on this, go to this, click on this, and so I will type in del, and backslash. And
But isn't it better to delete it with the script, as you said,
yeah,
everything in the same
it is,
session?
but I'm just saying, workflow is not used to just run a workflow. The workflow designer, it's not just used to run a workflow. You can schedule anything here. You can, so over here, I don't even have a session. So don't go to work and be surprised that why are they running a workflow without a session in it? So it means they're running something else. So if I run this workflow, it's going to delete this file. Oh, it already deleted the, what do you call it? What is the file? Emp raw data. Okay, it's already deleted. So you can schedule this every day, it will delete it. So this is one way of scheduling, but this is not, that scheduler is not powerful enough. I'm going to abort this because I'm running this workflow, and in the command task, I'm saying again run this workflow. So it will keep running. It will run. It will run in cycles. So why do we use autosys? Because it's much more powerful to schedule jobs, to automate jobs, to schedule jobs or automate jobs. Now, what are the different components in autosys? Okay, there are only 3 components. There is first one is called file watcher. Second one is called command job. The third one is called as box job. Very similar to what Powercenter does. So what is a file watcher? So we'll first look at file watcher. File watcher, like the name says, it waits for a file, right? It waits for a file. Okay. What is the equivalent of that in Powercenter? Already showed this. Turab?
Yes, event task or race task. We
Event
have
wait.
the
Event wait.
Yes. Mhm.
Everybody's blank. Okay. Actually, let me open the workflow for event wait.
Yeah, we used to send a demo file, dummy
Done.
file.
Done.
Uh-huh.
File. What is this waiting for? It is waiting for done.txt, right? I don't know how you guys forget things so quickly. File watcher waits for a file. Okay. So this is the equivalent of event wait in Powercenter. So how do you write a code for autosys? Okay, how do you write code for autosys? Okay, so simple. Has anyone worked on autosys before? Okay, how do you write code for autosys? So this is how so in autosys, so database use SQL. Informatica uses mapping, session, and workflows. In autosys, your code is written in, it's called GIL, GIL. Okay, job information language. Job information language. It's not a special language. Don't think that why is he asking us to learn another language? No, it's not a language. So all you have to do is just open your notepad. Okay, any of these autosys jobs, they follow a format. Okay, first one is, it's called insert underscore format, insert underscore job. Okay, there will be space. Okay, let's call this as job. Let's call this as stage underscore emp. This is loading employee data from, let's just call this as fs underscore aura underscore stage. Okay, this data loads from flat file to staging. Okay, space job type. This you will say f. F means file watcher. Okay, now over here you will say file, then you will have something called as file to watch. What is the name of the file you want to watch? You want to watch for example, you want to watch for this file here, done.txt. You want to watch for this file. Okay, the third thing, how long should it watch for? So you have something called as watch interval. This thing you don't have in Powercenter. If the file is not there, it will run forever. Over here, it will not run forever. And say 60. So that means it will watch for this file for 60 minutes. Okay, you will have something called as a start time. What time should it start watching for? So 5 a.m. PST. Okay, then you also have watch interval, watch time. Then you also have out file. Okay, then you have error file. right? Where should the log file generate? You can see you can generate this in C Informatica 9.6.1 server info. I mean, it shouldn't generate in Informatica because Autosys will be installed on Autosys server. So you can say C Autosys and then logs, something like this. And where should your error files be generated? So error files should be generated in error folder. Okay. Then you have something called as stop on error. Stop on error means stop on error. Sorry, that is Informatica. Not stop on error. You have end retry. What does this mean? End retry. How many times should the workflow run before it actually fails? So if you say 2, this job will run 5 times before it will run for 2 times before it actually fails. And you have something called as alarm if fail. It's set to 1, it will generate a ticket if it fails. If it's set to 0, it will not generate a ticket. Okay. Then you have over here, you also have calendar. You can, so there are already built-in calendars. Okay, you can say Monday to Thursday. So when you come to calendar, you can your Monday to Friday. Your Autosys admin will provide you a list of available calendars. You have calendar, then you have exclude calendar. Exclude calendar means don't run on these days. Exclude calendar means you can save exclude Saturday, Sunday, and federal holidays. Okay. If Monday is a federal holiday, it will not run on Monday. Okay. So, but it will have a list of federal holidays for like next 100 years. Okay. It will calculate Monday to Friday for the next 100 years. That is how Autosys is so powerful. Okay. Then you also have success condition. You have success. So run this job on success of some other job. So I'm going to leave it blank. Okay. So this job will start at 5 a.m. Usually, remember I said don't put timestamp. Don't start a job based on time. It's a bad design. So you should always wait for. Oh, okay, this is searching for done.txt. So this is okay. This is how your Jill code looks like. For okay, so you can open a notepad. You can type all of this. Okay, Control C. Then you can go. I'm going to show this on Saturday Unix. So you will go to the location where Autosys is present. So for example, Autosys. So first you can go.
Abdul, Zina has these options or no?
Yeah, every software in the world has a front end and a back end. Every single software has front end and back end.
I'm talking about the Autosys options that you showed us. The Zina has this option.
Every scheduling tool, because some people don't like to work from the front end, like double click. Some people prefer writing the code here. Okay, so for example, you have a location called Autosys. MKDIR. Okay, so you will first go to the location where Autosys is present, and then you will type in. I'm going to show this in detail. Okay, please don't ask me what are you doing here. Okay, I'm going to take 3 hours class on Saturday on Unix. I'm going to show you. So this is how you in Windows. How do you open a file? How do you edit a file? You can just go to this, right click and say new, and then say text file, and then you can just type something here, right? In Unix, you cannot do like that. Okay, in Unix, you cannot do. You have to type in vi and then just say job. Okay. Escape, lowercase I, right click, paste. Escape, WQ exclamation, and exit out. So let's have an LTR. You have this. So I created this 724. So if I want to see what's inside this, you have to type more, and then so this is what so I insert the code, the Jill code here like this. Then After that, I need to type in GIL less than symbol, and then this name, whatever I have here. Since I don't have an autosys installed, it will give me an error. It will say invalid command GIL. But at work, you will have to go to the location where autosys is installed. Like over here, I went to the location where PMCMD was installed, right? So you have to first go to the location where autosys is installed. Make sure that autosys is working by typing autosys. For example, I went to see Informatica 9.6.1 then and typed in autosys, so it said invoked. Same thing, you will go here and location where autosys is installed, you will type in autosys and hit enter, it will say autosys invoked. Then you will type in GIL. You will have to type in GIL less than, and then that thing which you, and then it will insert this job in the scheduler. This job, the name of this job, for let's go back to here. The name of the job is this. It will run every day at 5 a.m. and the file it will watch for is this. It will run for, can everybody go on mute, please? It will generate the log files here, error files here, and all of these things. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, so let me, guys, I don't read messages. Did somebody ask?
Abdul, do we need to download the Segwin tool?
Yes. Yeah, you will have to download Segwin before Saturday. It takes like 2-3 minutes. So let's look at autosys, file watcher. Let's see how. I want to see the syntax for autosys file watcher. Where is it? Yeah, this is very good. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So this is how your autosys looks like. The file watcher, just the file watcher. Okay. So let me go to the here and let me paste it here. Can I paste? Yeah, I can paste it. So do you guys see? It has insert job, job type, for date conditions, days of the week, start time, conditions. You can type a description, alarm if fail, watch file recursive. Okay, I don't know what that means, but most of it is what we just covered. Okay, this is how your autosys looks like. You have to open it in a notepad. Okay, you don't have to do this from scratch. They would already have some existing jobs which you can open and copy the syntax. Okay, or you can ask, if you're the first person in the company, you can ask your autosys team saying that, do you have syntax for file watcher, or do you have syntax for command job, or do you have syntax for box job? Okay, this job is not running an ETL workflow. This job is only going to look for this file. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay, now
Yeah.
so this is done, right? File watcher, like the name says, file watcher, it will watch for a file. That is all it is doing. Okay, let me go back here. Now let's do command job. What does a command job do? Okay, it is used to run a task. Like you can run a workflow, you can delete a file, you can create a file, you can run a workflow, you can do anything with this. Okay, box job is useless. It is only used to organize all these jobs in one place. Okay, basically this is also very small. This is the most important job here. This one does only one thing. It can only watch for a file. This is like workflow. These are like sessions. Like in a workflow, you have multiple sessions, right? You have this. So this is like a box job. You have file watcher, and then you have this. Okay, so let's do command job. So what does command job do? It can, so again, it will have the same syntax, insert _ job. Okay, so I will say I'll just give it some name. So what is the name of this? Emp, it is loading dimension, right? So I will say employee dim. Okay, the job type is C. Oh wait, sorry, this is wrong. Job type is F. Job type is C. When you see job type FF, it means it's a file watcher job. When you see job type as C, this is a command job. Okay, the first thing is command to execute. Command. So what will be the command if I want to run a workflow?
PMCMD.
For the
Yes, PMCMD. This would be the job. This is the command you want to execute. Okay. Then the run calendar. Okay. Let me make sure that I'm using the right terms. You will have
Hey,
days of the week.
In the command, you're providing the username administrator and the password. Would we have access to that at work?
Usually, like I said, you will not provide passwords like this. User ID you can provide, but passwords you will not provide like this because everybody can see this, right? So
Yeah.
this would be encoded. Okay. You will have a software where you enter the actual password. It will encrypt it and it will give you that. Okay. That will, you will have to talk to your Informatica admin and say that I'm trying to, at work, first of all, you will not log in as administrator. You will never ever log in as administrator.
Okay, because then we can log into the console with the same. Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Wait, you will never log into Informatica.
No, I know we never will, but if we have user password, then somebody potentially could.
Yeah, exactly. They can log in and mess up something. So you will never log in as administrator in Informatica. You will never log in as root in Unix server. You will never log in as sys in database. You will never log in as administrator in Powercenter. Remember this, please. Okay. At work, they will give you a user ID to run your job. So for example, in my project, we use something like UC path. Okay. So, and then we have our own password. Okay. We will not type password. That would be parameterized, or it would be de-encoded. So it will be like, it will be say infra underscore pass underscore UC path. So internally it will have that Abdul 213 exclamation. Okay, this would be a variable here. Okay, you inside the variable in the backend you have something encoded. Okay, days of the week. You can say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Exclude calendar will be. Let's see. We have exclude calendar here. I don't know why they're not using exclude calendar here. Okay, so let me say. Let me pick up another syntax here. Let me say Artusys file watcher command. Yep, this is good. Let's use this. The first thing is called insert job type C, command, a machine is okay, permission, date conditions. So first thing you will have before even you have date conditions. So you need to, if you're scheduling this workflow to run on some days, you have to say date conditions equals to 1. If you say 0, then even if you put the schedule here, it will not run. Next, you will have exclude calendar. Exclude calendar, you can say Saturday, Sunday. Okay. Then the next thing you will have is start time or success condition. So you will have start time. Never ever have start time by itself. Always have start time and success based on something else. So if I'm trying to load dimension, I want to make sure that staging is completed, right? So I will say success of this job. And start time is going to be 6 a.m. At 6 a.m. this job will start, but it will not run because it is waiting for this job to complete. So you load staging and then you start dimension, right? So at 6 o'clock this job will start. Never ever put just the time stamp. This is the time for the start condition. Okay. this one. So success means it will wait for this one to complete. Okay. The next thing you will have is out file. This is like autosys log files. Okay. You will say load this in this location. See autosys. Autosys will have its own directory. Error file will be in this directory. You will have something called as empdim.out. And just like session log is created in C Informatica 9.6.1, session logs are always created in, where is it? Session log. You have your session logs created here, right? Just like that, autosys logs will also be created. So error file will be called as ERR. And then you will have third job, job type, command job, date, conditions, days of the week, exclude calendar, start time, end retry. Okay, how many times you want the workflow to run, fail, and then actually fail? Okay, I'll just say like one. On the first failure, just fail it. If you keep it 2, if it fails, it will start again, and then it will fail. Okay, so you know why they keep this as 2 or 3? Sometimes Powercenter goes down for like a second or 2, and if you're unlucky, if your workflow runs at that time, it will fail. And if you keep it 2, it will again restart, and Informatica is up in that time. It will again run, and you will not get paged out at 4 in the morning. Okay, so but if it runs for 3-4 times and then it fails, that means there is an actual issue. It could be a data issue, or it could be a application issue, like Informatica server went down, or the Unix server, or there is a network issue, right? Your network should be running 24/7. If it goes down for 1 second and your workflow happens to run during that time, if you keep this as 2, it will run again, and it would have completed. It will not even fail. You don't get an alarm or a text file. You don't get a text message or a call. End retry is 1. Then I will say alarm if fail equals to 1. So anytime this, if you keep this as 0, suppose if it's not an important job which you can fix after you go into work, after 9 p.m. after 9 a.m. you log in, you can just keep this as 0. That means ticket will not be generated, or you won't get a call. If you keep this as 1, the moment it fails, a ticket will be generated. L1 will call you and say, Abdul, please log in and check. Okay, and then what else am I missing? Insert job, job type, command job, date, conditions, days of the week, exclude calendar, start time, success. You can put success of multiple jobs here. You can just say and some other job, and some other job. Like when your dimension, when your fact runs, you want to make sure that both the dimensions complete, right? Right. So when you go here, and if you see your fact, you have to make sure that this one and this one and this one completes, right? So you can say success of this, this, and this. So you can put multiple conditions. Right now I'm going to just put one condition. Alarm is, okay, what else am I missing here? Alarm is, oh, okay. You have max runtime. This job usually runs for 5 minutes, but I'm going to put max runtime as 10 minutes. If the job runs more than 10 minutes, you will get a ticket saying that this job is running longer than usual. Please log in and check why it's doing. Okay. Similarly, you also have min runtime. This job usually runs for 5 minutes, but if a job actually completes in 3 minutes, you need to actually log in and check and see. You might not have to take action in either case, but it will just send you an alert saying that your job is ran for 10 minutes, which is unusual. Your job ran for 3 minutes, which is unusual, which is okay. So maybe Walmart was closed for Thanksgiving and there is no sales, so their data is very less, right? So maybe the day after Black Friday, it ran for 10 minutes, so which is okay, right? But on a normal day, if it's running for 10 minutes or if it ran less than 3 minutes, it's a problem. It's not a problem. There could be like, you just need to have to check. Okay. You can end retry. Oh, they put end retry as 12. Okay, so you can also have start time, and you also have something called as a run window. You also have run window. So you can say 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Why do you need to put a run window? This job starts at 6 a.m. Okay, this job starts at 6 a.m. But what is the condition for this job to start? Should be 6 a.m. and this job should have been completed, right? This job started at 6 a.m. and this job did not complete. So it's waiting for this one to complete, and at 7 o'clock, this job will actually fail and send you a ticket. Because when you're looking, when you see this job, it has two conditions. This one got satisfied, this one did not get satisfied. So that means you will have to check why this one failed. Maybe the file watcher never received the file, right? So there is a run window. Okay, and that's it. You should know condition. Oh, okay. So you usually put S of brackets. I forgot. You have to put S of bracket. Like in Informatica, you say previous task status equals to succeeded. Over here, you say success. Okay. What else? Description and retries term. So if the job is running every day, it's running more than 10 minutes. Every time you'll get a ticket. End of the month, they will generate a report and see how many tickets people are working on. So if they group by max runtime, they see, okay, why are we running? Why did we receive 100 tickets for this job, right? So they'll say either increase this time or do some performance tuning and see why this job is running 10 minutes. So every time you work at a company, the managers, right, the operational managers, they want to reduce the number of tickets because they're always looking to cut down cost, right? They'll say, why are you working on the max runtime every day, right? Don't you have anything else to do, better things to do? So they will look at a ticket. They'll see the thumb rule is a ticket should not be generated more than 3 times. But it's getting generated more than 3 times, you need to have a long-term fix for it. So either do incremental load here or if you're using join, check the session log, check the busy percentage, and check why it's try to fix this. Okay. So this is how a command job will run. So you could have another command job. Okay, you could have another command job over here. If you want to delete a file every day at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m., you can just simply say, here's the one I just created. No. So if you want to delete a file every day, you can just, in the command, you can over here, you can put the delete command. Okay, this is like, you can say insert job del_amp.txt del_amp. This is a command job, dates condition, start time, and all of this. So you can either you automate this thing of deleting the file, or you can automate scheduling the workflow, running the workflow. Is this clear how you can schedule a workflow and how you can put this in? Okay. The next thing is, so you already know you inserted the job and everything. Tomorrow, if somebody says, I want to change this from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. I want to change this from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Or if I want to change the runtime, or if you want to make this alarm and retry equals to from 1 to 2. So how would you do that? You already know how to insert a job, right? You type in insert job and job type and this and this is, open a notepad, go to Unix, type vi command. I'll show this how to edit but you already know, and then jill less than, and then the file name. How do you update a job? Okay, suppose I want to run this job at 7 a.m. I'm going to keep the job name and get rid of everything else. Okay, I'm going to get rid of everything else. I will say update_job. You can keep the rest of the things, but it will just overwrite ABC with ABC. Okay, so you will take this, go back to your Unix and type in vi. I'll just open a dummy file, open update. Okay, escape lowercase I, right click, paste, escape :WQ exclamation. Okay, so ls -ltr. So I have an update job here. So if I do more, I will see update job and then the start time. Then I will type in GIL less than update and hit enter. You cannot write an update job for a job which doesn't exist. Okay, cannot write an update for a job which doesn't. You can only update you can only update a record in your dimension if it's present, right? If it's already inserted, right? Just like that, you cannot update a job which is never existing. This can, after you type in update underscore job, it should be a job which is present. Now, if you go back to AutoSys scheduler and refresh it, this will say 7 a.m. For example, if I schedule a job, and if I go back and change the job in the scheduler and refresh it, it will show me the updated time here, right? Just like that, same thing. So that is what this is how a command job works. The final one is, I don't have much to say about box job. Okay, the box job literally is like, if you want, so my fact sales, my sales fact, what are the different jobs it has? It has, first one is emp stage, right? See, child job can run by itself, or you can put all the related jobs into one box. Okay, so if I have six sessions to load the fact table, right? Sales fact. So I've employed dim, employee stage, dim stage, then I have sales stage, then I also have emp dim, then I have
The second one on the store stage.
emp stage, oh sorry, store stage, yeah, right. Store stage, sales stage, emp dim, then I also have store dim, and then I have finally have sales fact, right? I have 6 jobs, so I can run this independent, I can run this independent, I can run this independent, I can run this independent. Like, for example, I can create a workflow for this, I can create a workflow for this, I can create a workflow for this, I can create 6 separate workflows, but that doesn't make sense, right? So I will instead create a box job called sales underscore fact underscore box. In this one, I will have 6 child job, 6 command jobs. In that, I will have 6 command jobs. One for stage, so stage, then 2 dim, and then 1 fact. So if somebody wants to look at which one failed, if anything fails, you know that this one failed, or this one failed, or this one failed. If these are all separate, you will have to open individually each one of them, right? Same thing here. If you have sales fact, you can have this as one workflow, this as one workflow, this as one workflow, this, and this. You can say run this workflow after this workflow. I showed you how to run a workflow after another workflow, just right. You can put a command job and put P and C, but it makes it more organized if you club all the related jobs in one place. Just like in database, all employee related tables are in one HR schema. All Powercenter tables are in one schema in FAREP, and all sys tables are in one schema, right? Just like that in AutoSys also, all your related jobs should be in one place because it would be more organized. That is it. Now the interview questions for this. Okay, the interview questions, they'll only ask you what are the different jobs, what is file watcher job, and this is the main, what is on ice, what is the difference between on hold and on ice. Okay, we'll cover whatever we just discussed, we covered the basic, but this is one important, what is the difference between on hold and on ice. Okay, simple. You have job A, job B, and job C. Okay, C is dependent on B and B is dependent on A. What does that mean? Only if A completes successfully, B will run. only if B is completing successfully, C will run. Okay. If you put job B on hold, so A will run, and everything will be, nothing will run after this. Okay. So B will not start and C will not start. Same thing, the opposite when you put a job on ice. You put job B on ice, A will run, it will skip B, and C will run. So if you put something on ice, first A will run, it will assume that this is success, and it will mark it as success, and then this one will start. This is one interview question you can definitely expect from Autosys. What is on hold and what is on ice? Any questions?
So
Go
okay,
ahead.
if B is on hold, C will not run, only A. But in the second scenario, C will run.
Second scenario, A will run and C will run.
Okay.
So Abdul, you say on hold means it runs after A runs, then B runs, after B runs, then C runs.
No. Can you read this?
Only A will run.
Okay. Now what's your question? Okay, let me explain again.
Yeah.
Listen very carefully. It's very simple. No need for explaining this again. I have 3 jobs. C is dependent on B. B is dependent on A. What does that mean? Once A completes, only then B will start. Only when B completes, C will start. Is that clear?
Yeah.
When I put B on hold, this job will start. A will run. B will not run. C will not run. Everything after on hold, including that one, will not run. On ice, C is dependent on B. B is dependent on A. That means after A completes, B will run. After B completes successfully, C will run. Now, there is some problem with this job. I don't want to run this. I will put this on ice. The box job starts. This one will complete successfully. It will skip to this one. Over here, this is very important. Without running this one, you cannot run this one. Who can give me an example of this scenario and this scenario?
The first one is like same thing that we were doing. The previous task is equal to succeeded. So if the
No. I'm asking. Yeah, I know that, but give me a practical example.
The first one is the stage dim, and other one, the SCD2 first one. Because if we don't the dim is not the running, then we cannot go through the SCD2.
Correct. This is like you have one employee table, which you have department table, which is master. Yeah, I mean I can take that example. This is your master table, and your employee is child. So this is parent. This is child. So unless department gets loaded, employee, if this one fails, you should not even run this one because you will have so many failures. So if this is department and this is employee, and these have foreign key, primary key relationship between them, you should put this on hold. For example, this one, when do you do this one? Somebody says, okay, we don't have to load this. It's okay. This is like so I have 3 flat files loading data to 3 tables. Okay. This one is loading employee information. This one is loading department information. This one is loading some bonus information, which I can do at the end of the month, or I can do it later, right? I can calculate bonus later. So they'll say, okay, let's not hold our daily job runs based on for the bonus thing. So this is not that important. This is critical. We have to load employee data. We have to load department data, which is critical. Bonus data, for example, it's not critical. We have 30 days to fix it. So I'm going to put this on ice. Every day, this will run and this will run. It will ignore this one. If you put something on hold, that means you have to That is important. You don't want to run anything after that. That's the reason you put it on hold. When you put something on ice, that means you have some time to fix this. It's not that important. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, this is Auto says. On Saturday, we will practice Unix. Please download Sigwin. Probably takes like 2 to 3 minutes, not more than 3 minutes. So go to YouTube, download Sigwin, and we will practice Unix on so day 5. 29th class. So we had 45 classes so far. Okay. What did I show you? SDLC. Software life cycle for a data warehouse and business intelligence project. What else did I show you? Autosys.
PMCMD.
Yeah, PMCMD I already did. I think I have somewhere. Already showed PMCMD, but yeah, I can put PMCMD.
Abdul, can you copy paste that file watch, command job, and box?
I already did.
You did?
Yeah, I already did.
No, I didn't get it in the chat here.
Oh, in the chat?
Yeah, in the chat, so I can copy paste the format in my notes.
Which one are you? I'm going to upload this. You guys can download and take.
Okay.
See, I already have the insert job in here. Okay, so let me just put the update job also. This is one, guys. 1 second. This is good to know. Nobody is going to hire because it literally takes 8 hours to teach this at work. Literally, somebody can teach you in one single day. Nobody is going to hire you or say, oh, this person knows Oracle very well, Powercenter excellent, but this person doesn't know scheduling tool. We cannot hire this person. Nobody will say that. It's good to know. Okay. So, okay. Does everybody have access to? Does everybody have access to this assessment? Because somebody was telling me that they were looking for this assessment. It was already uploaded in Informatica recording. That's the first file there. Please go through that, okay? You guys should be able to answer every single question on here. Okay, this is very common assessment. A lot of companies will ask you to do this assessment. I did not paste the answer. Okay. Okay, so we have 2 more classes left. We will do. I want you guys to download and install Sigwin. Rab, do you already have Sigwin installed?
No, I'm gonna install it. I have an Ubuntu. I'm using Ubuntu.
Okay, you don't have to download Sigwin then. You can use.
Yeah, I can use the same one.
Sigwin and you will do Unix. So don't go for Ubuntu because Sigwin is very easy to install. You don't need. So download and install Sigwin, and I want all of you to watch this video before you come to class. It will make things Unix very easy to understand. Okay. For an ETL developer, if they know this, they're good. You don't need to know more than this. Okay. You don't need to know more than this. This is like a 1 hour 20 minutes video. Just watch this, practice, and if you do that, you don't need more than that. As an ETL developer, you should know, like, what did we do as an ETL developer so far at the operating system level? We moved the files, we created a file, we created a folder, we deleted, rename, add the timestamp at the end. That's all we did, right? That's all you should know in Unix. In Unix, you cannot right click and do things. You will have to type. If you want to create a file, you have to type. If you want to create a folder, you have to type. Like in Windows, you can right click and create a folder, right click, create a file, right click, rename. Unfortunately, in Unix, you cannot do that. Okay, and 99.99% you will be working on a Unix operating system at work. You will never have Windows. There is no way you will have Windows. So you should be very well versed with Unix. And then A47. I just want to cover leftovers. I want to cover, what do I want to cover? I want to cover IICS Informatica Cloud, Snowflake. Please download all these things. I mean, create accounts. You don't have to download anything. That's the best part. Create all your accounts here. AWS. Don't start creating accounts after the class starts. Please have this ready. IICS, Snowflake database, AWS, MongoDB. This is like on Sunday. You can even do it on MongoDB. IICS, Snowflake, AWS, MongoDB. That is it. That is it. And Adil will also join at 1 o'clock. So class will end at 1. We will have he wants to talk to everyone about how the what would be the next step starting from next Monday. We will have mock interviews, one round. After one round, we will start submitting your resumes. Okay. If you have any questions, you can discuss on Sunday at 1. Anybody has any questions?
I have one question.
Yeah.
Okay, as Turab mentioned at the beginning when you were trying to show us the autosys, right? So he mentioned that there is an equivalent program. I forgot the name.
Xena.
Okay, so Abdul, every single company has to use the autosys, or they can just change it, like some of them autosys, some of them the other ones, equivalent ones.
Banks, like I said, banks and insurance companies will use autosys by default.
Autosys, right? So let's say that if we're gonna go to the different company, then it's gonna be probably small changes on the syntax.
Yeah. Once again, like I said, nobody will hire you, or nobody will reject you saying that this person knows everything but doesn't know. If you tell them I know autosys and Informatica scheduler, if the person knows, have worked at the bank or an insurance company, he'll quickly say, okay, you worked on autosys. What is the difference between on ice and on hold? That's it. They'll just move on, or probably they won't even ask you that. Nobody. If it's good to have, it's not compulsory. Like SQL is compulsory. Powercenter is compulsory. Unix is for Unix, for SQL language and Informatica, you have to be 9 out of 10. You cannot be less. It's not acceptable after 2.5 months. It's not acceptable to be less than 9 out of 10. For Unix, you can be like 4, 5, 6 also. That's okay. For scheduling tool, you can be like 3 or 4. For reporting, you can be like 3 or 4. I don't care. Okay. So yeah, but you should know at least basic things, like in reporting, how do you extract the backend query and then backtrack, or how you should know how a report works. If person tomorrow says this report is returning bad data, you should know like how you have to run the report, get the backend SQL, because report is returning data from tables, and then see if the person is saying department information is wrong, or employee information, you have to backtrack employee dim all the way back to flat file. Person is saying store data is wrong in the flat file in the report, you have to backtrack store dim to store stage to store flat file. The source data itself is bad, nothing you can do, reach out to source team. Source is sending right data, you are loading bad data, there is something your mapping messed up. Okay, guys, if you're typing anything, I cannot see. Okay, that you should know. In scheduling, you should know how to schedule a job. Okay, whether it's Xena or Dollar Universe or what is the Control M, all this, but you know autosys, so that should be okay. Unix, you should know. We created those scripts, right? Batch scripts in Windows. Like we automated stuff, right? Like creating the list file was automated. Moving the files and adding the timestamp at the end was automated. Same thing you should know in Unix. Okay, so like renaming files, creating directories, what you did in Windows, you should know. Same thing you should know in Unix. But SQL, you should be 9 out of 10. In Powercenter, you can be 7 or 7.5 also. Oracle, you have to be 9 out of 10. Powercenter, you can be 7.7, 8, 9, 7, 8. 8 is okay. 7.5 is also okay. Okay. Some companies, they'll say, okay, even if this person is 7, I don't care. But Oracle SQL, you have to be 9 out of 10. Powercenter, you can be 7, 8, 9. Operating Unix, you can be like 4, 5. Reporting can be 3. Scheduling tool, you can be 3 or 4. Okay. Try to download Tableau and try to play around with it. I'm going to actually look in some videos and see how I can import the dimensions in fact, or just employee table and just show you how to run basic reports. That is it. Okay, so I don't know if everybody filled out the. Please fill out the schedule because I need, and please don't make any changes to it once you fill it out. Okay. I don't know if everybody filled it out. Do you guys have any questions?
Abdul, as you tell me about the mock interviews, right? So whatever the CV will be prepared for us, right? It will be depend on the mock interviews results, what we're gonna answer and how is our performance, or
no, those two things are not connected. You're
connected. Okay.
Yeah, you should know. You should know all these questions. Remember that, guys. I don't see a lot of people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 only. Okay, please fill it out. Okay. Okay, so you should know all those. You should know all these, the ones I sent to you. You should know everything in here. Okay. At this point of time, you should know everything in here. And then remember, I sent you the. Did I send you the SQL questions? Users, desktop, Google Cloud. Did you guys try web services, consumer, and HTTPS? Nobody tried. Okay. What was I going to? The SQL. Did I post? Did I send you guys SQL questions or no? SQL questions.
Yes, I think those are the first ones you send us.
Which Abdul, it was couple questions or?
No, it was 25 questions.
I think so. I think we had it. Yes.
You guys have it, right?
I mean the questions. It was about all the triggers and all of them, right?
Yes, we have 26 plus
27. That one.
You added where did you use stored procedures at one?
Exactly, that's the one. Can somebody send it? I don't know why I don't have it. Can somebody send it to me? I'll upload it in, or somebody just upload it in the SQL folder. Okay, and then for Informatica Cloud, I don't know if you guys noticed, I uploaded 8 videos for Informatica Cloud. So one of my previous students, they paid and they just for 12, 13 videos.
Yeah, you gave it to us.
Yeah.
You gave it to us. I think the questions are in the batch 9. You still have batch 9.
Okay.
Questions are there.
Okay. I'll if somebody has time, just upload it to the SQL recordings. Okay. Okay. Anybody has any questions before I end? No questions? Okay. Then we'll meet at Saturday. We'll meet at Saturday 10 to 1, Sunday 10 to 1, and then we'll take it from there. Okay. Download Segwin and we'll meet on Saturday and watch that recording.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll see you guys on